Well, hello and welcome to Redline Routine. And in our inaugural video, we're asking the age-old question, which is better? If you have $35,000 to spend, do you go old with an Audi RS4 or you go new with a Volkswagen GTI?
Yeah, my name is Sean. This is my GTI. I bought this almost 2 years ago, brand new, 2023. This is the Mk8 generation. It was sold from 2022 to 2024. It's now the Mark 8.5 and it's no longer got a manual. Pour one out for that. I have the manual here, obviously. And that's kind of one of the reasons which makes this an actual fun comparison. Obviously, RS4, only a manual.
Exactly. So I'm Carson. This is my 2008 Audi RS4. So I've had it for about a year now and got off the original owner. And obviously, you're going old-fashioned. You got analog, you got a V8, you got a manual transmission, you got all-wheel drive, you got 4 doors for all your friends. It's really all you need in the car, and you can be a hooligan in whatever weather conditions you'd like.
It is, in its age, it was one of the ultimate cars. I had 12 bottles or bags of bottles in here yesterday.
Yeah.
And can you do that in your RS4?
No, and that's kind of some of the cons of the RS4. One, you're buying an 18-year-old Audi, which...
And not just any old Audi.
Not reliable on a good day.
Yeah.
So daily drivable in quotation marks. Lately it's been good, but it definitely has had its quirks here and there. Has its common problems you have to deal with. You don't have a warranty. Maintenance is expensive. You're paying for a shop to do it, as well as parts are extremely hard to find. But if you get one that has good maintenance history, good ownership, and low mileage, you can have a really sweet car for under 35 grand.
Just don't forget to have like a backup car or some sort of plan for when this breaks for a week, because it's likely to happen.
It definitely helps to own multiple cars when you have one of these. It's kind of just it's a bonus daily for when your other daily gets boring.
Exactly. This is a daily that you can actually drive every day, and if it does break, you take it to the dealer because it's still in warranty and they give you a loaner vehicle, and that's why I got it. I think that's a good segue to go make some noises. Psych! All right, so here in the Mk8 GTI, obviously a very different place to be. There's practically no buttons. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there's only 7 buttons in this whole car. You get your lock buttons, you get a button to lock out the windows, you get a button to access your all your nanny mode, basically, your following distance and your lane keeping and all that nonsense, of which it has all of that if you like it. I use the adaptive cruise control a lot. This is one of, if not the only vehicle that was sold in North America with a manual transmission and adaptive cruise control, which is very, very cool. But not all of the cars do have it. You get a button for your SOS, you get a button for your hazards, and that's it. Everything else is hidden in your infotainment or in these haptic buttons. And a lot of the hate, in my opinion, is very overhyped. Realistically, using these buttons, once you've used them for a week, I got used to them. I actually really enjoy the sliders for both the volume control and the track selection. I find that the screen is quite responsive and quick. I'm almost never using it in regular Volkswagen mode, admittedly, though. I'm almost always in Android Auto, which just works great. However, I do love the digital gauge cluster. It is fully customizable. Mine pretty much stays on this screen at all times with the big tack in the middle and my boost on one side and my operating pressures on the other side. I also have a lovely manual shift knob. It is not factory. The factory shift knob is not great at all. You're going to want some sort of upgraded shift knob, most likely, if you end up with one of these in a manual. Black Forest Industries makes a great one. That's where this is from, but it's missing the little pretty bit. No fancy party tricks like the screen going down or anything. At night, the party trick is that everything is ambient. And you have a full RGB color spectrum. You can change it from where you like. Personally, I've been in pink for a long time. It looks great in the gauge cluster, which is what I'm looking at most of the time anyway. The main reason why I chose the top trim above all the other trims, and this is a bit sacrilegious to the true GTI purists, is because I wanted these leather seats, the buckets with the GTI emblem on them. They're just gorgeous, and they're ventilated, which is very uncommon, well, in small luxury vehicles in general, but also just in economy cars at all. And it was one of the features that was really important to me. This is a very, very nice place to be. The audio system does leave some to be desired. It is a little flat at times. It's definitely not the best, but it's pretty good. As a place that you can get in and spend a lot of time in every single day, this is a phenomenal cockpit.
One of the negatives to buying an 18-year-old car as compared to a new one is the interior. Now, these came with a beautiful interior in my opinion. It's very timeless, it looks great. You get this beautiful carbon fiber here, these beautiful Recaro seats that have RS4 embroidered into it, and a very nice manual shifter in the middle with this nice carbon inlay all surrounding it. One of my cons to this is the steering wheel. In Europe, they got a very nice flat bottom steering wheel out of Lamborghini Gallardo. In North America, they said nope. So we got this lame one out of an A4 just with perforated leather. Now bring to the center console here, you got everything you need in a nice button. You don't have to mess around with some stupid big touchscreen. You just get a nice button, you can do whatever you like, except operate the touchscreen, because obviously it's not a touchscreen. But in my opinion, I enjoy that more and it fits this era of car much more than a touchscreen. And I hate when people take all these beautiful buttons out and they put a stupid Android Auto or Apple CarPlay system in. It just ruins the whole interior of these cars and it makes it not as it was meant to be. So in here we got a DVD slot for the navigation system, which this car came out in 2008 and Audi stopped updating that navigation system in 2010. So unless you get lost or time travel back in time, it's completely useless. There's also 2 SD slots for music because the car is very old. And the screen hides away just like that. And if you're a grown-up like me, use a Bluetooth transmitter and you have no issues at all. All right, well here we are on the RS4, just going for a quick little spin and just enjoying the noise of that V8 all the time. The one con to this car is it comes from the factory with a suspension called DRC suspension. It's a hydraulic suspension system called dynamic ride control. And the con to that is that it always breaks. About everyone I know with an RS4 has switched it over to coilovers, and this car as well has been switched over to some Bilstein B16 coilovers. However, the ride is definitely lost a bit of quality with that, but it feels more like a race car, which is all that you want.
It's supposed to be a race car.
It is a race car.
Doesn't the R stand for race?
Sure. It's just a little stiff, and sometimes if I'm on a bumpy road, which we have a lot of in Calgary, I feel like my spine is going to come out of the top of my head.
See, I have adaptive suspension, so I don't have this problem. So what I will have is the same problem in 18 years.
As Sean was talking about in his car, he's got this mediocre sound system, whereas this has a Bose sound system, which is quite good for 2008. Compared to modern standards, it's so-so. It sounds a bit flat sometimes. Lots of times it lacks a little bit of bass. But it fits the part of the car, right? It's not a crazy sound system. It fits the role of an 18-year-old car.
You're also probably losing a bit through the Bluetooth transmitter, right? Like it's not an ideal setup in our day and age.
Nothing about this is ideal for listening to high-quality music in 2025.
But again, you don't need to be listening to high-quality music. You have high-quality music under the hood.
Exactly. Most of the time, I don't even have the radio on this car. I just listen to the motor go by and listen for things to break. So it's kind of keeps me busy while I drive along.
Fundamentally, it's still a luxury vehicle, right?
Exactly, which a GTI is not.
Yeah, the GTI is an economy vehicle that they make luxurious.
But this thing, half the time when it throws an EPC light, it's like a Windows 98 software. You just turn it off, turn it back on, and she runs just fine.
It's good to go. It's just a little confused, you know?
Exactly, it's just kind of confused onto what I should think.
Ah, yes. Gotta love gravel all over the roads.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Gravel all over the roads, and you can just hear it all just smacking against the underside of my car, which is already not in great shape after 18 years of Calgary winters.
Well, it's fine. I didn't see that many winters. But that was, yeah.
It saw every single winter.
Did it?
The guy, this was his winter car.
Oh.
A fun little quirk about the RS4, really bothers me, is the radio. There's no volume bar. There's no volume number. It's just louder and quieter. Louder and quieter. You don't get a number, you don't get a bar, you get nothing. It's just more noise or less noise.
Okay, what is
Sport mode.
Oh, that is sport mode, eh?
Sport mode.
Okay. You hop into a new M car or a new S car, and there's, at least 4 or 5 different drive modes. If it's an M car, you have your M buttons, and then you have, 10 different traction control settings, and all of this nonsense you can do. And honestly, I'm sure it makes for a pretty fun driving experience. But what do you get?
I get normal race car or more race car.
Yeah, what does it even do?
What this button does is it sharpens up throttle response. It allegedly gives more fuel, so you go faster. I have not noticed a single difference on or off. The only thing I noticed is a little bit of throttle response change. And if this car had the factory exhaust on it, it opens the valves in the exhaust. And special little treat, if you got the European car with the Recaro wingback bucket seats, there's little bolsters in the side that actually inflate when you click the S button, which is pretty gangster. But then again, when you go to North America, they're like, no, you guys don't get it.
Yeah.
So we don't have wingbacks here.
Fat fuck Americans, they're not gonna fit
The
in
fat
them anyway.
Americans, they're like, there's no way they're gonna fit into our race car seats. So they just can't the whole project.
We in Canada, we get so much less cool stuff because of Americans' poor taste, right?
Exactly. That's why we don't get wagons over here.
That's why we don't get wagons.
Yeah, this is the RS4 only available in a saloon in North America.
Yeah.
Wagons, or a saloon and convertible,
Yeah,
mind it.
yeah. Well,
But
they
the
made,
convertibles, there's like 5 here. They're so rare, and
they're kind of ugly.
they're kind of ugly. The door on them is about a quarter mile long, and just no one buys them because it's like, if I was going to buy this, why wouldn't I buy an M3 convertible, which is rear-wheel drive and more fun and actually looks proportional when it's convertible.
Yeah, with top down, the E93 or E90, yeah, E93 M3 looks unbelievably good. And also, I would say that V8, you know, subjectively sounds better to me, but realistically, they're both phenomenal sounding V8s. But if that's what you want, right? You want to be able to put the top down, V8, rear-wheel drive, a little bit of slideys, and it's still a brilliant to drive car. I'm sure the S4 RS4 convertible is as well, but you know, it's so rare. Like if you were to get your hands on one, you're not going to want to really drive it properly.
That's the thing. If I want a convertible, I want to drive it in the summer when the weather's nice, and I want to kick the tail out.
Mhm.
And I can't really do that. You can kick the tail out on these if you just clutch kick it at 5,000 RPM and force it to do it, and it will hate you for it.
Yeah.
Or you can
Hate
get an
yourself for
M3,
it.
which will just smile and be happy and be tail happy all day long.
Yeah, that'll be our next video. Sean buys an M3, and it's better than this in every single way. Hopefully.
All right, well, now we have the scariest part where Sean gives the RS4 his first drive.
Let's just, okay, don't stall it.
If you stall this, it's got like a clutch is only 30,000 kilometers old, so.
Well, oh, this is actually quite nice.
Immediately, it's better than the GTI right away.
Well, I didn't say that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's better than the GTI. Of course it is. This is not as tight as I thought it would be, but I mean, I guess it is old.
Yeah.
I also thought that was real aluminum. It's plastic. I feel a little bit deceived right now.
Yeah, it's cost cutting.
It's cost cutting. See, they were doing it even back then. Everybody loves to complain about all the cost cutting measures done in the Mark 8. It's just been kind of a fact of cars for a long time. Oh man, that's really a very good noise, isn't it?
It's addicting. That's why my fuel consumption is so poor.
Yeah, what do you average in this?
I don't know. Well, it says that I average around 12, but
That seems too
as
good.
we all know, Volkswagen and Audi in this time have never ever lied about their fuel emissions in any way. So it says I'm averaging 12 liters per 100 kilometers, and then I go through a tank in about 380 kilometers. So that's not quite yet left here. That's not quite 12 liters per 100 kilometers.
No, that's closer to like 15, isn't it?
Probably closer to like 17. But it makes a cool noise, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's an unbelievably good noise.
For the most part, it's fairly good.
I'll give credit where credit's due. It has been pretty good for you recently. Now that you've spent a lot of money.
Only like $5,000 in a year.
Yeah, there's no backup camera. What the hell is this?
That's turn your head. Your neck works, eh?
Well, yeah, it's fine. Your tiny ass mirrors, man. Like, I can't see shit.
There, stop.
Okay.
We're there. We've arrived.
We're there. We've arrived. All right. Well, I guess it's time for my card then.
It's time to do the swap.
All right.
Get the keys back. My
Those are
poor
for you?
baby.
Yeah.
You know, I thought you were lame for liking this gray, but it has grown on me quite
The
substantially.
gray is beautiful, especially when it's clean, which it never is in Calgary.
Yeah, I like my gray, but
Your gray's just a little flat for me. Let's go for a spin.
This is your first time in my car too. Driving it.
Exactly.
And I don't know if it just doesn't.
Put your handbrakes on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Stupid electric handbrake ruining my first. I already have a bad opinion of this car because of the electric handbrake. How are you supposed to do drifts? How are you supposed to seduce women with your handbrake if it's electric?
You literally can't.
It's
And
impossible.
honestly, that is actually something I don't like about this car. It's really not that fun in the winter, but it's so fun in the dry that it makes up for it.
See, I've only attempted seduction via handbrake a couple times, and one of them I did, but it also didn't work out. It did not seduce her. So it was just a lot of damage for nothing.
And yeah, so if you think about it, it's actually a feature.
That might be a selling point.
Yeah.
Because we know it's lots of 16-year-old boys that like GTIs and not men.
Well, yeah, but 16-year-old boys can't afford them new. They buy the old ones,
They buy a Mark 6.
and those still have manual handbrakes, as you know.
That's why there's so many teenage pregnancies. Oh, is it even on? Again, is the engine on?
Yes, it's on.
Barely hear it.
Yeah, well, it's a 4-cylinder. You can kind of hear the turbo split. Yeah, just give it some welly, you know. It's got plenty of torque.
This just proves how much I love my V8 when I drive something like this.
Honestly, now that we're back in here,
Are you bored?
I'm not bored. It's not the same.
It's got all this tech. It does, I will say, the steering wheel is quite nice.
Right?
It is a nice wheel.
It's very nice.
It's a very good shape.
Yeah.
It's very ergonomic. My hands fit in there lovely. The RS4 wheel is terrible. It does not feel great. There's little like wear marks in here from like where my thumbs sit. So I've made my own grooves in it. But
Yeah,
I wish it came nice like this one.
Yeah, it just fits.
And all the aftermarket steering wheel options are just these brutal Alibaba carbon
No,
made by an 8-year-old in Sri Lanka, and it just looks terrible.
No, that's not it. And you know, straight roads are not really where this car excels the best, right?
Exactly, yeah. If you're getting a hot hatch, you gotta go through some corners.
Yes. I got this one specifically over, all of the other cars in the segment, like the Civic Si, the Integra, A-Spec, because the Type S wasn't out yet. Even the GLI, because this was, by far and away the fastest in a straight line. And since we do have a lot of straight roads around here, that does matter. And honestly, it really is quite quick. And you're not sacrificing actual handling performance for that either. I would say from all the other people that I've watched talk about this car, it is one of the best handling cars in the segment.
The throttle response is quite good.
Yeah, you're in my custom mode,
Ooh.
and so basically I have everything dialed into maximum sport here, except for the suspension, which is in maximum comfort, because that's the daily driving mode.
Race car motor, juicy suspension.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
Nice tight steering, and you will notice like it's definitely not as heavy as yours, but it is quite responsive, and it is nicely weighted.
It's a very directional wheel.
Yeah.
It's immediate. It's very immediate. You want to go there, it goes there. There's no messing about. It's immediate.
Yeah. There's significantly more feel than my F30 BMW had as well. That was quite floaty compared to this.
See, this is what I don't like. I'm in 5th gear, and it's barely going anywhere.
That's not accurate. We're cooking pretty good.
Oh,
If you're just trying to pass somebody on the highway, that's plenty, right?
I mean, yeah.
And oh no, you have a manual transmission. You have to shift your own gear. Just like we're complaining, just shift your gears. Put it in 3rd gear, and then put your foot down, and you're gone. We'll try that on the next tool straight away. Give it full beans. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'll start in 2nd. I'll give her a bootful. We'll see how she feels compared to the RS4, which I've been dailying for almost a year. The thing with modern cars is they don't do it I feel like the car is almost driving me a little bit rather than me driving the car.
Well, that's the thing, is it can almost completely drive you, right? When you put the adaptive cruise control with the lane centering on, it keeps you in the middle of the lane. It puts you into sheep mode, as my uncle loves to call it, where it'll just follow whoever's ahead of you at the same speed. And it's funny because sometimes when you're, tracking down the highway, you'll be sitting at 110 or whatever, and somebody will go in front of you, and if you're not paying attention, the car will automatically slow you down, and you won't realize that you're dropped down to 90 or something.
Which is quite nice.
At times. When you're actually sitting in traffic, although I do find, for safety purposes, let's give it some beans.
Oh, gotcha. See, I won't lie, it does get up and go. It moves fairly good. It moves in a more unexciting fashion than the RS4. largely in part to the noise.
Yes.
If you have a 4-liter V8 screaming at 5, 6, 7, 8,000 RPM, it's a lot more engaging, it's a lot more consuming than just a 4-cylinder going "Mah."
Yeah, and you know, we've got the windows up. I've got a stock exhaust. You can't really hear it.
Exactly.
There is sometimes where you can hear it a bit, and it'll do a little bit of backfires and pops, and it sounds okay. But you can only really hear it if you've got the windows at least cracked and you're at low speeds. Once you get above, 60 to 80 kilometers an hour, you're not really hearing much out of what's coming out of the back. You hear a little bit of what's going on underneath the front, and all I will say is that in the current realm of direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinders, most of them sound like not just okay, they sound terrible. My mom's Cadillac, the 4-cylinder in that is clank, 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 clank. The 4-cylinder in my friend's Explorer, clank, 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 clank. The direct injection is so loud, they sound like tractors. So at the very least, this doesn't sound bad.
Yeah,
under
it's
load.
nicely muted too. There's nothing worse than the sound of a 4-cylinder going by, going "Ah." It's awful. But that's why I liked when I had my Mark 6 Golf R. I thought it sounded great because you could barely hear the engine. It was just turbo noises,
Yes.
which was great for about 6 months until I got so annoyed with it. And every time I shifted gears, it goes "Doo-doo-doo," and I wanted to just take a sledgehammer to the whole car. And then I ended up selling that because I just could not handle it anymore.
Yes, and you got a much more conservative vehicle
Much more conservative vehicle.
with a much less conservative engine.
Exactly.
Overall, definitely an upgrade.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, I spent nearly double on it, so I hope it was an upgrade. Double the price, half the kilometers, 120 more horsepower. Not a bad
This
choice.
is an absolute win.
So I just hop into the passenger seat for this car in the first time in a while, and I realized it has a manual moving seat.
Well,
My car from 2008 has electric seats. There was cars in the 90s with electric seats, and this, a top-of-the-line Golf, highest trim package, passenger seat is manually adjusted. I feel like I've gone back in time.
well, you got to save weight somehow, right?
You're saving 3 pounds.
Well, I think it's cool. Honestly, I think it's cool. And you don't need it over there, right? The passenger is a second-class traveler. I am the only traveler that really matters, and I don't spend much time over there, so I don't care that it's manual. And technically, you do have the power at the back, because the Golfs do that for whatever reason.
Well, I have half a power seat. Where's the rest of it?
Well, you don't need it. And it's also a cool little factoid that, to my knowledge, this is also one of the few vehicles, if not the only vehicle for sale in North America, that has a ventilated manual seat.
Oh, there you go. You're going forward in time and backwards in time at the same time.
Exactly. Although ventilated seats have also been around for 20 years, but that's besides
That's true. But I will admit, when I get into my car on a hot summer day, and I have to either sit in there and bake
on your
on
scalding.
my black seats that are about 1 million degrees, I do wish I had ventilated seats.
That
I'm not aware of a 4-door car with manual V8 naturally aspirated new that has ventilated seats.
I don't think that exists.
Exactly. So I have to go back.
Actually, no. Technically, the CT5V Blackwing has ventilated seats, a manual option, and a V8.
But it's a supercharged V8.
Well, it's still a V8. That is the other thing, though. You do have to consider that on average, you're probably doing double the fuel economy that I am.
I'm doing double the fuel economy of a fuel that's 30 cents more a liter because my car, it's supposed to take 91, but it's my little princess, so I give it 93 because it deserves it and it makes it happy. And this car takes 87 and puts out damn good power for minimum grade fuel.
Yeah, like 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque doesn't sound like a lot, but we've got 3 people in here, camera equipment, and that's 100. It's more than fast enough for regular public roads. Even autocross use, this would be plenty, and it would take you a long time to max out what this chassis can offer, unless you are an experienced racing driver. And most people are not. And if you really want more out of this chassis, well, you can get the Golf R.
So, we've now driven both cars, admittedly not for very long, but you've got a feel for mine, I've got a feel for yours.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was worried about would happen is that I would love the V8. you know, I had a truck with a big American V8, and it's nowhere near the refinement or the pleasure that you get from something like this.
Every man needs a V8 in his life.
Every man needs a V8 in his life is something I agree with. But I was too scared to take the plunge on an 18-year-old performance vehicle, and I'm very glad that you have, so that I can experience it secondhand. And I'm sure vice versa, you would never spend the money on a brand new GTI,
Exactly.
but I have, and you get to experience it secondhand.
Exactly. I'm not exactly the type for these new cars. I, again, like I've said, prefer the old ones, and that's why I went this direction. But it really begs the question, what should you do if you have $35,000 to spend? And I think I stand my point after driving both cars, and I'm going RS4 all the way. It's just nothing beats the driving experience. Nothing beats the noise that that car makes. The interior is just a lovely place to be with its nice expensive leather and its six setting heated seats. Everything's glorious.
If I did have the luxury of having a second vehicle, and this could be my most of the daily driver, this would be a much more appetizing experience, right? If you have the know-how and you're willing to work on your own cars, you're going to be much happier with this most of the time, except for when you're actually working on it. It's going to be probably,
Oh, it's awful.
it's awful.
Everything is impossible to get to. The bolt, I don't know how they built this car, except like if I want to change the spark plugs, step one is drain the coolant because the reservoir is in the way to get to the back two cylinders on the left-hand bank. And it's little things like that. And it's if I want to get to the transmission, I have to take some of the subframe apart. And if I want to drop the engine, front end has to come out.
And see, I'm not going to own this car long enough to have to change the spark plugs. It's not going to be a problem that I'm going to have. By the time that this thing needs spark plugs and all the major services, it'll be in its new owner's hands, and I will have something else. And maybe it'll have a V8, maybe it won't. And that is something that you do have to keep in mind, not just with an RS4, but any sort of old performance vehicle, is that most likely there's some sort of deferred maintenance. And, you know, to wrap it all back to the question that we're trying to answer here is, what really is the better solution? And there is no definitive answer in my mind. Obviously, for my use case, this was the better option. And I would do it again 10 out of 10 times. For your use case, this was the better option.
Exactly. I think it comes down to main things. One, if you want to work on your own car. If you want to work on your own car and you have some skills, you can get something like this. Two, reliability. This will work every day, no issues. Probably 99% of the time.
Sometimes, admittedly, sometimes the tech will do like flashy weird things. But again, it's new tech. It's what it does. It still works 99% of the time. It's just the 1%.
Whereas then if you go into something like this, it'll work brilliantly when it's working. But some days it might decide it's in a mood and it wants to have a misfire, or it doesn't want to start nicely, or it wants to drink all your oil because it's just a thirsty little car, and you just got to add more. And things like that, which is just natural occurrences for owning an 18-year-old German car. I think any German car of that age is going to have issues like that. I think to wrap up our first YouTube video here, we've decided that there is no answer. It's up to each person. It really depends on what you want. And it begs the question, what would you do if you had $35,000? New or old?